guys. So I've literally tried to make this video about 5 different times in many different ways. So now I'm just resorting to literally iMovie on my iPad to try and put this together. So I apologise for how basic this is. Like, it is actually terrible. I can do so much better than this, and I'm even ashamed that I am publishing it. But I just wanted to get this done because I wanted to make a start, and I wanted to have a video that analyses Bella's work at the very beginning. So what I'm doing here is when I'm asking her to walk, I'm just asking her to be soft and supple. I'm literally, like, that exaggerated head movement is more her than me. Like, my hands are barely doing anything at all. You can see that she's quite gobby, so I'm probably going to end up putting a flash on her. But then when I actually ask her to start using a bit of outside flexion, I use my outside aids. So I use my outside leg as an inside leg by applying pressure, keeping the contact through what is my outside hand, and for argument's sake in this video it's my right hand. My left hand, which is technically the outside hand, is acting as the inside rein, looking for flexion. My weight is just down through my inside leg. And then when you carry her forward into the trot by applying your leg, keeping your hands wide in the trot, then that just helps to keep her straight. It keeps control of her quarters, gets her moving off her hind end, gets her shoulder to come up rather than just coming forward. And so basically those aids are being applied. They're looking for straightness, and my hands have to kind of act as a funnel to try and keep her as straight as possible. So it's really just a case of balancing her between your hands and leg the entire time. But in doing that, it's obviously a case of, like, riding every single step a little different, because she's so green and she's so babyish, and, like, her legs don't always go the same direction as they did the last time, bless her. But as you can see, like, after a bit of work, she's a bit more consistent. So what I should say here is she's actually been warmed up for about 15 minutes or so beforehand. So we've already had a wee walk, trot, canter in each direction, so she has already been warmed up. I didn't want to get that actual, like, shit show on video, because that was, like, the first couple of canters are just absolutely terrible. So nobody needs to see that. So this is what we're actually working with now. So, like, watching this, I kind of want to tell me to put my hands forwards more, but because she's quite green, like, she needs her hand held with the contact, so you need to be really, really clear with the contact you give her. And so if I were to throw my reins forward here, what she'd actually start doing is chucking her head up and down. So I actually need to keep a bit of contact. And the pressure and release that I'm using here is literally just, like, it's very, very subtle, like, so subtle, so she knows that she's doing right. And it's just a balancing act between the hands and leg. That was a terrible, terrible walk transition. I'm working at the moment on just getting her to move and be sharper off my seat aid, so literally just, like, squeezing my seat bones together. I'm looking for that to establish as the downwards transition. We're getting it in the walk and halt at the moment, but the trot to walk, like, it's just not happening yet. So see here again, like, I'm using some outside flexion on her, just try to keep her straight, try to keep her moving forward. My inside leg isn't really doing an awful lot, it's just there. Just try to keep the balance, keeping her between my hand and leg all the time. She does get a wee bit distracted, like, when we ride past the gate sometimes. She does have a wee look around. You can see, like, she is still, like, kind of opening and shutting her mouth. Like, it is still quite babyish of her to do that. So, like, when I rode her forward in the trot there, she kind of wanted to dive out through the shoulder. She falls in quite badly on the left rein, which is kind of what you saw. So that's another reason we ride a lot of, like, outside bend, outside flexion exercises, is just trying to get control of that shoulder to stop her diving out either way. I find it really useful when I'm schooling her to have a little exercise over poles just set up somewhere. This is the worst canter ever, just please ignore that this happens. The poles are really useful to kind of reset her, like, so when it goes badly, like it is now, like, I just laugh at her when it goes wrong, because, like, what else can you do? She's trying, bless her. But the poles kind of help to reset her brain. They make her focus on something else, other than just what I'm doing, because she can switch off a little bit sometimes if you do too much in the school. She just kind of stops listening to you. I'm asking her for canter. I've not set her up. I mean, the trot wasn't terrible, but I did not ride that transition well. With her and the canter, it's actually really, really hard to get the balance between giving her and allowing her to go forward, but also keeping the contact, which you'll see in a second. It's really important to keep the contact, because when you don't keep the contact, this is what happens. So see, it was an alright transition, but the head is just gone, and the head's gone because I allowed my hands forward too much, because I allowed her to go forward. So now I've got to fight her and just try and get her back. So you can see she comes round, she's nice, she's soft, and then the head's up in the air again, and I'm like, nope, just keep coming forward, keep coming round. The legs just have to stay on, my seat has to stay kind of quiet, because it's really hard to sit into that, because every stride is different. But yeah, you can see here she softens and she actually goes so nicely in the canter. I'm really, really happy with this canter. And then just riding it forward when she gives you what she wants, so you use that as a reward. As you can see, the downwards transitions, they're not good. I need to be a lot more effective with my seat to ride the downwards transitions. But we're both still kind of working on the whole balance thing. That makes it quite hard, because she's so narrow, that I'm finding it really, really hard to kind of get my balance and to plant myself, because I'm used to really wider horses. I'm used to riding cobs and Irish draughts. See, watching these downward transitions, it actually pains me. Please, someone slap me the next time that I ever dare to ride a downward transition like that. So just after that canter, just try to establish a walk again, bringing it back to something that she knows. Let her get her breath back, let her kind of recover from that work. Some people say the school makes the horses a bit stumbly. I personally just think they should just get on with it and make the horses pick their feet up, and they should learn. It is a bit annoying when Bella does trip up, but I mean, she does just need to deal with whatever surface she's working on, so it's good for her. So see, she gets herself a wee bit wound up. I can't tell if she gets herself wound up before a canter, because it's excitement or it's apprehension. It's probably both, to be honest. I'm going to go for it's more apprehension, because she's still just so green, and she is just one of those horses that if she doesn't get something, she gets herself in a bit of a flap. So over those poles, I'm just sending her over them, because just to make her focus on something else other than the fact that she's going to canter again soon. I know it's bad that she anticipates, but I think it probably comes from me and something that I'm doing differently with my own riding without even notice. My hands aren't quite as wide as they should have been there, which is why the head came up. So that was a bit better over those poles, but it still was not great. So when she starts to settle, I just kind of try to keep it consistent, but even when she does settle, it's not always possible to just keep it the same, just because she changes so much. She still needs to relax more over those pulls. So I'm actually really happy with that canter transition. That was really nice for her. And she's not even too rocky. Her head's up and down a bit, but compared to what you saw on the left rein, that was nothing. And the actual canter she's given me is good. It's forward, it's so powerful. I can tell when she gets a bit more hind end on her, the canter is going to just be gorgeous. We're just not quite there yet. And that again hit me. Downward transition. It's terrible. And there we go. Now we're about to get chucked out of the school, so I'm going to have to stop talking. But yeah, I hope you found that interesting, just talking you through what I do in my schooling exercises with Bella. I'm going to try really hard to get some actual technology that will allow me to edit a video properly, because it pains me that I can't have an intro and I can't have it all nice and pretty. So thank you guys. Again, awful, horrible thing to watch. If you found that video interesting or useful, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, because I will actually have decent stuff posted there, other than the travesty that is this channel at the moment. I promise that it will get better. Thanks, bye.